let's get into 1-2. The Steelers looking great to stay in the division of the AFC North. Did they fix it by putting Russ in?
I don't think so. I think he
Griff?
just had a good.
I think their offense has more potential with Russell, but I think Justin's going to lead them to be more consistent.
5 touchdowns isn't a lot, but 1 interception is also not a lot.
That's what I'm saying.
But
That's
did
what I'm
you?
saying,
So
but
Tonio, while we were talking about Lamar throwing it downfield, I think watching the Steelers, Russ wasn't scared to throw it downfield, whereas I feel Justin was a little more timid to get it
Russ
down.
has never
well,
been
Billy,
scared to throw that bitch
well,
down the field.
well, it's the thing, Billy. You hearing outside rumors and inside rumors. Hey, one slip up, Russ coming in. So ain't you gonna be timid too? Like you ain't,
Okay.
you're not out there playing freely. Why you think he only got 1 pick? Bro, scared.
Yeah.
Like, hey, I can't fuck up. So I'm not going. I ain't going deep. If it look contested, I'm taking that safe throwaway route.
Yeah.
I mean, in
I think
today's
that's just how the
league,
game was called, though. Like, I don't know if that's
also
necessarily on Justin.
also that like how are they taking the training wheels off to see what he can do? Like, because Billy, you can't tell me. I mean, you might can, but on play actions right now, I'm 100 times over 100 taking Justin Fields over Russell Wilson. And I ain't talking about to pass it to make the pass. I'm saying like, oh, that shit covered, bail out.
Yeah.
I'm taking Justin Fields. What did you say, Chris? Last year, Justin Fields was like second best running back in the league. That's what you called him last year when he was in Chicago. Like, hey, Billy, that ain't no easy title. And the running backs are back, but I still got Justin Fields. Justin Fields still the second fastest quarterback in the league.
Yeah.
Let me make
But
sure.
he's not making half the throws Lamar can make.
No, I ain't saying that. That ain't what I'm saying. I'm not comparing him to anybody. I'm just saying with his situation there, like them not opening up the playbook for him, because Chris probably owns something. Like, hey, let's put Justin in predicaments where he can't mess up. But you can't see what he was about, and you can't judge off of what was going on in Chicago.
He's got 4 or 5 years in the league. Like, you can see what kind of throws he can and can't make.
And you can't go off, well, he was doing this in Chicago, because nobody in Chicago was doing anything. Like, they dog shit offensive line for sometimes. Sometimes he was holding it, but he didn't have what Buddy got over there now. He got an all-star studded lineup for him. So I don't know. I still think Russ finds a way to corny his way out of starting, because he's just a corny dude. He can't help it. But the Steelers, Billy, you pulled a Chris, and you said last year in the show, and I ain't pull it up, but you was like, Chris was asking you for the future, who you think was gonna be good, and you was like, well, fuck, now that they got Russ, the Steelers might be the best in the AFC. And well, look who's knocking on the door, Billy. And Matt and Chris said last year. Shout out to Matt. He said last year,
saying like they just need a little bit extra,
a little bit of quarterback. He said if Kenny Pickett could complete 10 passes, they win games. Well, Kenny couldn't complete but 6, but they still won 8 games. So now they completing passes. So the Steelers looking kind of scary, Billy, because that defense was always gonna rock. They was always gonna rock, bro. So I don't know if it's a blessing or a curse, because let's just say you want to fucking 1-2 punch it down the rest of the year. Well, now you got 2 healthy people, because both of them ain't playing all the time. Now you're gonna have, I guess, the wide receivers is happy to be there, and they got a thug in George Pickens, so he don't give a fuck as long as they get him the ball. So I don't know, Billy. The Steelers might be that nightmare that you conjured up to play your Ravens.
They need some help in the red zone, though, for sure. I think that's where Fields needs to see some playing time, because I think between the 20s, like Russell got it between the 20s, he can move them down the field. But it seemed like he was I don't know, just without I can't really without giving it a good description, it just seemed like he wasn't that good in the red zone compared to how he played the rest of the game.
Well, he did so the spacing too. The Jets do play like you can say what you want about the Jets. We'll get into them in a second, but the way they were playing was just kind of you're gonna have to do a contested. You're gonna have to someone's gonna get lit up, and I think Russ was just very aware of how that was gonna be. And I think having Justin Fields in kind of gives you like, okay, well, we got to kind of pack that middle just in case he runs. Whereas Russ looked scared to run. Like he looked like he didn't want a single part of running.
So, and I feel like with Justin Fields down there, you put in, if you don't want to go in all game, give him some Taysom Hill packages, bro. Like,
right.
We in the red zone. We in the red zone. Your first option is run. You see somebody wide open, sling that hoe. But your first option is run. If they don't, because let's just say we go 4 wide like the Saints used to do with Taysom Hill, or 5 wide with Taysom Hill back there. Well, now you got a linebacker probably matched up on George Pickens. That's a mismatch. And then you got Justin Fields' feet. So it's like, who do I leave on the island? Who do I send on the blitz? It's confusing, right? It's a lot. Yeah. It's a lot you got to do for that. So I'm with Chris. Maybe put in a Taysom Hill package. Shout out to Sean Payton's illegitimate son, Taysom Hill. Getting paid. But
also, shout out to Sean Payton for beating the fucking brakes off his old team.
That Thursday night. It's funny too when Brea asked me, she's like, well, isn't it Thursday? Isn't there a game to watch? And I was like, it's the Saints Broncos.
Not really.
Yeah. Oh shit. So she's like, let's turn it on. We turn it on. Oh, this would have been a waste of time to watch anyway. Thank God. I do hate when I start the game and I'm like, fuck, this would have been good to watch. But so let's go to some more. Lions Vikings, that dog fight for the NFC North. We were just talking about the AFC North. Lions were down. I wish Matt was here to kind of defend his team a little more. The Lions were down 11 points 2 different times in that game, and they still came back and win. And that's the mantra of a very great team, Tonio, right?
Well, I've been telling you, I've been saying it to Matt. What's his coach name? I just forgot. I just went blank. Dan Campbell is a coach you run through a fucking brick wall for, Billy. Like he just is. So if my coach don't give up on me, why the fuck am I gonna give up on him? I don't care if we down 20. We gonna win this shit. If he's still saying we gonna win it, I believe him. And that's you looking at a team that's done bought in, Billy. Dan Campbell don't got no regrets from last year, making them calls, going forward, all that shit. He don't, and the team see like, hey, he believed in us, so let's give him what he want, and that shit working out for him. That's kind of scary too, because like, they got a 2-headed monster, David Montgomery, Gibbs. That's scary.
Even when
Montgomery
went out, Gibbs was like, I got it, no fucking problem, sitting on my bench, whatever, no big deal.
Yeah, and then like Chris said, Jared Goff, surprisingly enough, looking like a dark horse for, hey, I could be an MVP. He's not looking bad, Billy. So the Lions are, I ain't gonna say back because they ain't never been here, but the Lions are building. They're turning into one of them teams where every Sunday that they lined up, you got to respect them now. You can't just be like, oh, it's the Lions, because it's not the Lions of old. This is like, this is a team that
group. Well, that offensive line is scary. Like that.
And even without, you kind of tell, like without Hutch, they not really getting, but then they start mixing up blitzes and they did start getting pressure. And it's like, once they realize like, we miss Hutch, but we got to win for him too. It was just like, all right, bro, this is going to be, for whatever NFC team matches up against them in the playoffs, they shouldn't be like, oh, we got this, because it ain't going to be no easy game. And I'm really trying to figure out, Chris, who will play them in the NFC Championship game. Do you think it's the Vikings again, or is that even possible?
I was interested in this too, because I was gonna say it might be a bit of a hot take, but I think the Lions gonna represent the NFC. And then I got to looking at the NFC, and boy, shit down this year, man. It's way
Yeah,
down. Like
yeah,
49ers are just destroyed with injuries, so they're not in it.
yeah.
Like the NFC South is full of bums. It's the Commanders, but do we really think a rookie quarterback's gonna? I think he would be the first rookie since Ben Roethlisberger to take a team to the Super Bowl. And as good as Jaden is, I don't know if that team's ready to be a Super Bowl team just yet after, being garbage for the last decade or two.
And then I don't know, Chris.
NFC North
maybe Jaden like shot just won the Heisman, bro. Let me go in here. I'm gonna win Rookie of the Year, and fuck it, let's break some records. Maybe that's how you feeling. I mean, LSU was getting they ass whooped, and he just came in and reversed it for Washington. But I don't. That's highly unlikely. Now he might. I ain't gonna say he might, but Washington don't look too bad, and I think they beat the hell out of the Bears. We'll talk about that later. But the Eagles ain't too sure of themselves. You got coaches cussing out the fans.
Eagles make too many mistakes. Their clock management is fucking awful, and Jalen turns the ball over way too much the last couple years.
So I don't know. And I'm still like, I know it's the lineman in me, but I still think that brand new center shit, that shit just ain't, it's hard, bro. Like going from Jason Kelsey to whoever the fuck that guy is just like.
Because if you remember too, Jason Kelsey said he has a weird way of snapping the ball. And for you to learn that, and now you're back to learning the regular one, I could see a lot. But how long, Tony, are you going to give him that excuse? The rest of the year? Week 10? When do you after the bye? Maybe.
Well, Billy, like I said, I play center. Changing quarterbacks, I would have to snap it different ways. So that shit's not easy because it ain't just on Jalen. It's on that center. Because is that center right. Like he's not a rookie, is he?
No, but he's played guard a lot.
And there's another thing, Billy. Going from guard, center is a hard position, probably the hardest position on the line, other than outside from being a tackle, just because it's so much more responsibility on you. Of course, the tackle's protecting the quarterback's blind side, but the center got to be the second smartest person on the offensive field, if that makes sense. Like right behind fucking Peyton. Jeff had to know everything. And if Peyton missed some, there's the mic. That ain't the mic. He got to point that shit out. Like, it's some shit. But because everybody like, he just got to get the ball to him. Well, it ain't. Because you got to let your line know, like, they finna stunt right here. So you need to pick this up, or you tap them or whatever they codes is. So it's a lot. And if I'm coming from guard, Billy, that's a whole different ball game. Because my whole career now, I'm used to pulling and moving freely. But now you got to remember you got the ball. So that shit is like that shit. You got to be really good at center. And I know I don't think he's ass, but you got to be really good at center. And it's easier when you've been playing it because that timing within yourself, some shit like, especially when you in the shotgun, that shit is different, Billy, because you like right here and you got to get that shit up fast as fuck. And you only got that one hand. So you got to be strong enough to have that one hand leverage until you can get rid of the ball securely. Like, you can't just throw it back there and be like, because that's stupid. So you got to be right here first. Like, hike one hand right here. I got to at least jam you, and then now I can block or engage. So that's cheap as fuck on the Eagles. I know they went and addressed a lot of issues, and then, like I said, I don't think this dude is ass, but me learning a new position while my quarterback learning a new center, and I'm just not learning how to do this to be comfortable with myself. Because you gotta think, Billy, it ain't gay, but some dude putting their hands under your nuts ain't just like the easiest thing for you to just be used to, and especially if he putting that shit under there aggressively, you just like, all right, man, still my nuts. So yeah, it's like a lot. It's a lot of factors in there that people don't think about because they just like, you just got to get the quarterback the ball. But it's way more. So I don't know how long it takes. When I moved from tight end to center, Billy, I wasn't good at that shit. I was just bigger than everybody. So hey man, you want to play center? You fast? You do whatever we need to get to the second level. It's gonna help us win. All right, bet I'll do it.
Yep.
So it took me a while though.
So not to cut you guys off. Now, the Packers Houston game. Did anybody watch? Did y'all watch that? That was the Romo game, so I definitely paid attention.
A little bit.
So CJ Stroud had 88 yards on 10 completions, and the Texans barely lost the game. Does that speak to how good the Texans are, or does that show you how great the Packers can be or are?
A little bit of both.
Yeah, it's a little bit
Okay.
of both.
So
It might.
two things to be true,
It could also mean that the Packers kind of ass and CJ had an off game. Because if I have an off game, if my quarterback only got 88 yards and we barely beat them, it might show like, hey, we got to get a little bit better. Even though they're a good team, like
yeah,
we held CJ to 88 yards. You hold a quarterback under 100 yards. I'm looking for my team to beat them.
usually we're going to crush a quarterback.
Yeah,
but I think CJ's earned himself an excuse for this one.
Yeah, for sure. Like CJ Stroud, shout out to Dre, shout out to Darian, my boys out there in Houston. CJ Stroud definitely didn't have that slump everybody thought he was gonna have. He just had a game, bro. We ain't seen it. Hell, we seen it with the greats. Tom ain't never had no game like this, but Peyton have. For sure. For sure. So I think it's a testament to both sides, like Chris said, though.
I do think let me go to Chris too real fast. Jordan Love having 3 turnovers. Do we think that's a cause for concern, or are we ready to just kind of be like, again, has he earned himself? Like, hey, he was just taking some chances. What were we doing with that, Chris?
I shit on Jordan Love when he first came into the league, started playing last year, and then he made me change my tune. I'm not ready to throw everything out with him. I think it's similar to CJ Stroud, where you can have. If you're a solid player, you ain't gonna be solid all the time. You're gonna have some bad games. Like that's just that is what it is. And to get on Tonio's point, even the great Tom Brady had 9 games where he didn't throw for 100 yards. So
I'm glad you looked that up quickly. That was good. Let's talk.
I don't want to crush Love. I think he'll be all right. I think it's just a bad game for both quarterbacks.
That's fair.
And to Christian. He's not calling Jordan Love Brady, all right? Just get that out of there. I know Christian's going to be like, you called him Brady.
Hey, so the Packers' white uniforms were sick as fuck. Am I tripping? Dude, the white helmet. Bro, I don't know what it is about the white helmets. It's like a white helmet or a black helmet when your colors aren't white or black, right? I think are just fucking so sick.
Because they just stand out way more.
Yeah. Oh, dude, it looked sleek. It looked clean. Like, maybe a little bit of snow on the ground would have just been like a Italian kiss, right? Just oh man. But then let's talk. Now we can talk Mahomes playing like shit, but just undefeated. How much are we? Let me ask it the right way. What do we do to stop the Chiefs? Because it seems like it's not Patrick Mahomes, and he's getting every excuse in the book. It's been week by week by week we've been giving him excuses, and he's obviously earned that with 2 fucking Super Bowl rings.
So you gave me permission in the group chat. So it's 2 ways you can stop the Chiefs. 1, kill Andy Reid. That's what you gotta do. You gotta get Andy Reid the fuck out of here because it's him. It ain't the Chiefs. It's Andy Reid. It's just a genius. Hey, Pat, you playing like ass, but we just going to toss this to him, and then he's just going to break out, and we'll score. It don't matter. And then number 2, get rid of the refs. You got to – hey, Billy, you got to call a spade, man. I know Chris love Pat, but Pat get a lot of calls, bro. Like, Pat the new Brady, for real. When it come to calls. But – I don't think Tom got it to this extent where interceptions are getting called back. I ain't never seen no shit like that since Saturday. But we'll talk about that later. Hey man, it was a stat out there about the Chiefs getting saved. Like 26 times or something by calls and saved on like interceptions or turnovers. And I just want to say, Billy, that's a lot of fucking times to just be like, that wasn't it.
If we go into that stat, the second highest one is, I think, the Lions getting quote unquote saved with only like 7. It might be 9. And it's Billy, I know the disparity in that is this isn't a
like I said,
we gotta hold them accountable at the same time.
Yeah, I ain't even gonna bash them. I just say, hey, come on, man. Because I ain't gonna lie to you, I'm bashing when we get to college. I can't hold it. But I just think
that's where we're gonna wait.
I can't. I don't know, Billy. They just fucking good. That's the reality. They just fucking good. Being the star quarterback NFL playing like ass, team still winning. Don't let them fucking turn it around and start playing well. That shit just gonna be more blowouts. It's gonna be back to blowing people out. It's like fucking Steph Curry, bro. Like,
well, let's talk about they still Patrick Mahomes played like asshole and they won by double digits against the Niners. Now
he's played like shit all season.
Yeah, he don't look good, Billy.
6 touchdowns, 8 interceptions on the year. Lamar had that Sunday.
Yeah. Pat not the fucking Pat ain't a top 5 quarterback this year. If we being fair. Like if we go out wins, he the number 1 quarterback. He undefeated. But if we go off just like play alone, Pat might be on the outside of top 10 looking in. If we going out,
I think you touched on it with the Brady comparison though. Like Brady wasn't always great quarters 1 through 3, but you knew in the fourth quarter if he got the ball, your ass was cooked.
That's what I'm saying. So I think
Mahomes is doing this year.
I think Billy, he's just looking for the defense is playing well enough to give him one moment and one moment only, and every time he got the perfect play caller over there on the sideline, and the plays work exactly how I think. Excuse me, I can't take away from Pat greatness. I don't fuck with the Mahomes at all, but I think that along with Pat's greatness, you just gotta talk about Andy Reid's genius, bro. Like that shit is the only coach that I can see rivaling his offensive mind right now is doing interviews, and that's Belichick's defensive mind. That's the only person I think I would love to see them in like a chess match, like but on the field with even teams to see like what the fuck they would do against each other, because I just think that's how elite Andy Reid's offensive mind is. And I don't know, I'm pretty sure it's defensive coaches in the league right now, but I just don't know if it's one up to the caliber to be like, yeah, Andy Reid ain't no problem. He easy to figure out. Or one is like, yeah, I'm ready for this shit. Am I tripping, Chris?
They haven't done it yet.
Yeah, we could lie and say they have. They've met in the Super Bowl, and they met in the AFC title game with Mahomes and Brady.
No. I'm just saying.
And Bill won both times.
Well, we didn't meet them in the Super Bowl.
Yeah,
Brady was in. Brady was in. Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah,
for sure. But I'm talking about. I'm talking about Pat.
While we're in the show, I'm going to make that reel and talk about it. I will kind of clarify because that's not going to be part of the reel, so we can clarify it with the reel. I just want to throw that out there.
I'm talking about like Pat with Andy Reid, not just him by himself. Because the AFC Championship, yeah, we seen it, but I'm talking about like Super Bowl, big game, something like that. But they would never.
Oh, big time. Okay.
Yeah. But I guess the AFC is the second biggest game you can get to, or tied for second with the NFC Championship.
However, yeah. I do want to say there was a lot of comparisons before we get to college too, with Shedeur and Patrick Mahomes, with kind of how I think too Shedeur is not athletic. Real quick,
you got to say it right, Billy.
Yeah, and Billy, we gotta say this with college. We do, because I want to speak on that athletic Shedeur too. But we gotta say we gotta end it with the. Are we in the NFL?
No. We got two things to go.
Okay, all
The
right.
next
We
week's
got Jets,
matchups.
we got D Hop and the rookies.
Yeah. Well,
And-
no. And then we got
and
Vikings
Browns.
Rams.
And the
Y'all want to
Browns.
knock out? Hey, let's just go. Let's go to the. While we're on the Chiefs, fuck it. We'll do the D Hop thing. Does that make the Chiefs inherently better, or
Well,
is D Hop
just
little
like
cooked?
it's
Can't
just
make
like
them any
Chris
worse.
said. It's just like Chris said, bro. We got to see because, like I said, when who went to the Bills? What was his name? Went to the Bills.
Amari Cooper.
Amari.
Mark Cooper looked great with the Bills. He was like, "Oh shit, I'm out of Cleveland. Shackles off of me." I also feel like that a lot of people don't
Cleveland
say
to
it.
Buffalo though is the how much better is that?
Well, you get a
He's
top
going from
5
Deshaun
quarterback,
to Josh. I think he's happy about that.
a top 5 quarterback. To Chris.
Only
though.
starting quarterback that ain't
but he-
thrown an
but he-
interception yet this year.
But he is
By the
better than
fucking way.
Deshaun. He is better than Deshaun. So that's the same thing, Billy. I don't
Oh,
think
but
a
the
lot
two
of
games
people.
under 50% completion. Yeah, who cares? He didn't throw a pick
I
though.
what's your name, Billy? I do think that people don't acknowledge that Tennessee is a wide receiver graveyard. Like that's where wide receivers go to fucking die. We seen wide receivers go there and just be
Eli
like
Julio
Moss.
Jones, AJ Brown.
Randy. Like it's just, hey, I'm out of fucking Tennessee. Let me see what this Kansas City barbecue looking like. And we just out here going for 2 tugs and 130 first game. So I don't know. If I think he still because he still trained like a monster. So
yeah,
he just had Will Levis. I don't know any wide receiver that will make Will Levis look good. Oh, so yeah, going from Will Levis to Pat Mahomes, yeah, I might look like I'm a top 5 receiver in the league again. That's what it is. And I got Worthy on the other side, so now you got to figure out who you're going one-on-one. And if I get one-on-ones, I'm pretty sure I'm still out jumping 87% of the corners in the league.
100%.
So,
all right, let's go to a we're gonna preface this segment saying Jalen being healthy and playing against the Bears next week. Caleb Williams, you got your number 1, number 2 overall picks playing together. Despite what Tonio's gonna say, Caleb Williams is playing great. Jaden Daniels is playing top tier quarterback play. Who are we taking?
We taking the quarterback who beat teams other than the worst teams in the league, and we saying they look great because they beat the worst 2 teams back to back. So I'm gonna take Jay. Caleb Williams is playing great. He played the Raiders and the fucking Panthers, and he looked great. Oh, okay.
Raiders beat the Ravens. Lamar didn't look good against the Raiders.
Was it the Raiders? Oh,
yep.
It was the Panthers and who? The Raiders? Yeah. They look ass.
And the Patriots.
Oh yeah, he beat us for sure.
And the
I
Jaguars.
do think this is a funny narrative that Tonio is trying to push when 4 of the 5 wins that Washington has is against Carolina, Cleveland, Arizona, and the Giants.
Shit. Cleveland ain't ass. They just ass. They not Panthers ass or Jaguars ass.
But and Chris, you can't say that because he played well against the Ravens in that loss. He played well against the Bengals, and I think he beat the Bengals.
Yeah, he did. That was their other win.
But I think that's Tonio's point: is Caleb Williams isn't playing good until it's the shitty teams. You can talk about wins. That's an argument. But I'm on your side. He's acting like Caleb Williams is still just a bum. If he was a bum, he would be just losing these games. But he's not. He's playing better. I think he's
Billy,
starting
and that defense is looking better and better every week. Ain't nothing to do with Caleb. He ain't winning it. You say he's winning these games. You just said he winning the games. It ain't him. It's that defense. Stop it.
Hold on.
Chris,
I'm tripping.
What?
I think the Redskins will win just because I think they're the better team. But I don't.
Sure.
I'm not gonna say that it's purely the defense. Like Caleb's playing well the last few weeks.
Let me just go and trip you up then. Right now, rookie of the year, You going Caleb
Oh,
or
it's
Jaden?
Jaden. Yeah, it's Jaden easily.
I just don't. And honestly, Caleb might be the 5th rookie of the year right now. Because Malik looked good as hell. Brock Bowers looked good as fuck on a sorry team. Who else they had? They had somebody else. I can't remember their name. And I ain't hating. He just the number one ain't looked all that spectacular.
He started out rough
That's
the
all.
first few weeks, but he's come on the last probably 3 weeks.
But so Antonio, you're taking Jaden Daniels. What if he doesn't play? Are you still taking the Redskins?
They still
Mariota
got
looked
that.
damn good. Mariota looked real good. But again,
I'm still taking them. Washington.
Okay, Chris, what about you?
Yeah, I got the Redskins.
Okay, I'll ride with the Bears. I think Caleb shows us again one more time. He plays a great game.
You want to put some Fago on it?
Huh?
You want to put some Fago on it? You want to put a case on it?
No, I'm not that convicted with it. But
Antonio, what are you going to need to see from Caleb if, say, the Bears win? What do you need to see from Caleb to give him credit for the victory?
I just don't. I want him to mature from that USC Caleb to NFL Caleb. He's still doing like a lot of college shit that he's not getting away with it. And we ain't seeing that over there in Washington. We seeing Jalen understand like, oh, these motherfuckers fast too. Oh, I need to do this right here. Caleb not so much doing that because he's still getting sacked. He's still running into sacks. He's still doing like shit that college shit that you gotta
like, you're
mature
not
into.
That much better than these guys, dude. Regardless of who you're playing.
Yeah. You gotta like. And I like I said, I don't think he's sorry. I'll just be trolling Christian. But I think like this is a lot of shit that we seeing.
Whereas like
Billy got me calling this dude Jalen. We seeing Jaden do a lot more mature quarterbacking. I'll say that he's mature quarterbacking, even though he's a rookie too. I don't think Caleb is ass. I know some people say I don't troll the right way because it'd be believable, but I don't think Caleb's ass. I just think that Jaden is playing more mature and leading Washington more maturely than Caleb. And I ain't calling him immature either. For everybody